This is George Ward reporting with the Tennessee Progressive League. For today's podcast, I'm speaking with Mr. AJ Donaldson. He's the founder and the CEO for the Tents organization here in Knoxville. If you would, AJ, just give us some background on the Tent Summit itself and your history here in the area in Knoxville.
First of all, the 10th Summit stands for Teaching to Eliminate Negative Stereotypes Through Education. So that's the first part. But in order to understand what the summit is about, we then have to look at the history of it. Founded December 19th, 2010, a group of friends of mine, a group of friends and I were sitting at a table at Applebee's, actually right across from Easttown Mall. And as we were talking, one thing that became the general topic of discussion was guess who was shot, guess who's sick, or who's on drugs, who's selling drugs. And it was just almost so negative that it became just common to talk about people's pain as if, you know, we were better. And then someone at the table finally was just simply asking the question, well, for you guys who are off in school and you're gone in different cities, you don't have to worry about it. What are you doing? We need some help here just as much as you're helping people in other cities. And that's when it struck so hard that it was a common sense question, like, well, you're right. Let's do it. Let's figure out something. And that's where it developed. It really wanted to stop crime, but at the end of it all, we wanted to do more each year, possibly, at least besides some of that's been done to our community. That's the history of tennis. And it's really turned into its own organic movement where we're providing back to school opportunities for children of all ages starting at 12, between 12 and 17 and 18 and up.
I got you. And that's something that's desperately needed in Knoxville as a whole, but specifically in the East Knoxville region where many urban youth fall into the traps that you were describing, drugs, crime, and those kind of things. Because honestly, they are lacking in opportunities and activities to participate in that are more positive. So it completely salute you for taking the effort to create something like this and maintain these kind of positive programs. Again, Knoxville needs it desperately.
Yep.
Now, here with the Tennessee Progressive League, we of course follow national issues, politics, current events, and of course, police brutality is one of those issues that has been affecting urban youth across the country, and here in Knoxville as well, it has touched many youth.
The thing about the national level is it's definitely relevant to what we're doing on the local level. However, Tent Summit has been built from an organic point of view that we allow what we have to deal with in Knoxville to be our main focus, but not to negate the national scene. We know what happens when we go back as far as Trayvon Martin, and then we have Walter Scott, and then we have these shootings that are taking place in which is being recorded. Let's be Knoxvillian for a moment, shall we? Let's take it back even further. We can't forget Andre Stinson. We don't have to forget Ashawn Gillespie. We don't have to forget certain people in East Knoxville that were killed by police officers before these national media events took place, right? You
Right.
know, these are things that we can identify, but it's still connected to the national. But it goes back to that same question: what is it that we can do to try to prepare our youth to deal with these things as they're happening, after they happen, and most important, what to do before they happen? Um, and then, the Confederate flag, symbolism is power. And I think a lot of the things that we do with tents is we try to see if students can think on their own or try to show them that they can think on their own when dealing with things that are contradictory to what they believe and how to deal with it, right? Confederate flag, history of violence, racism, and yeah, anti-Americanism, if you want to be honest. And then if American or as a black student or as a white student, how are you going to identify with this symbol? What is your position? Here's what the symbol states. What is your position on it? We're not telling you how to think. Just think about what we're telling you from the fact point of view, and then make your own decision. And I think students, once given the proper information and given the ways in which it can connect to their daily lives, for example, Kanye West sells a shirt with Confederate flag on it for somewhat upwards of $100. on a cotton shirt, which slaves were forced to pick in the field. Now, you can be white, you can be black. You have to now come to grips with this symbolism with your favorite artist. I'm not trying to tell you that Kanye West is a horrible person, but what you now have is a relevant point of view, which is Kanye West selling a shirt at this amount of money. If you know the history of the tag, you know that it's printed on a cotton shirt. You're a smart student. What is your opinion? Because as a teacher, as a professor, as a summit organizer, we're not telling you what to think. We're just trying to teach you how to think. And that's the connection that we try to make with national issues, because it's creating conversation among youth. That's the kind of stuff they want to be engaged in. They want to hit them over the head. You should be with this side. You should be with this. No. Here's the fact. Here's the facts in a fun way. Here's the facts in a lyrical, rap, hip-hop way. Here's someone you know about. Let's talk about it. Let's bring this conversation to the forefront. That's where the success happens.
Got you. So that's how you're able to get youth engaged. So,
yes.
I know you guys have been doing it. This is your 5th year, correct?
We're going to our 4th year.
4th year. Okay. So talk a bit about the keynote speakers and themes that you've touched on over those previous 4 years. And this year, I heard that we have Dr. Barber, Dr. Sherelle Barber, who's actually the daughter of William Barber from the Moral Mondays fame in North Carolina.
That is correct. Sherelle Barber, yep.
Yeah, so she's going to be your keynote speaker this year. Talk about those past years and the themes that you touched on then, and what we can expect from Dr. Barber this year.
That's a great question. Dr. Sherelle Barber, obviously the daughter of the great Honorable Dr. William Barber out of North Carolina, president of the NAACP chapter of North Carolina. She is a friend of mine who recently got her PhD in public health from Harvard University. There's 3 reasons why she stands out in my mind and what she's going to deliver. One, you have to think of the fact that she is going to be the first female to speak at the 10th Summit. When you talk about that, it's so impactful because stat-wise, I would say 60% of our children who attend the summit are young black women, and they are really of age in which their minds are impressionable and malleable, and they need to see certain women in a certain light that could give them that motivation that they need. And then 2, she's going to provide an angle that most people don't consider. She's coming in from the public health, environmental point of view, in which they're able to see what is going on with their lives from the things that they eat or the things that they see, the decisions and policies that are made according to their health. But she's going to adapt it in a fun way, because many people will talk to them about the Walter Scott shooting, police brutality, and people will go the route of social justice, which she can do too, given her background. But how many people actually attempt to take the environmental conditions and the things that we see on a daily basis that you can't really argue, the science, the facts? So with her, she's going to be able to provide that data analysis, but adapt it to a group of children who are really excited about learning. But she's going to bring that spark that is going to really get them energized. And I know children want to hear facts, but they want to hear it in a fun way. And then 3, the legacy. You can not deny the legacy. Her father is one of the most profound men in North Carolina, and I think that she has inherited his legacy and that power that he has. And the way that I work with her in North Carolina, registering people to vote, working with NAACP, I think that's just by itself a blessing for the summit to be able to have that legacy in our profile. What does that legacy mean, and what is our profile? The first year we had Farnsworth Bentley speak. People may or may not know him, but Farnsworth Bentley was the people known him as the assistant for Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Puffy Combs. He also had his own television show on MTV, G's the Gent. And now he has his own show now on BET, Lift Every Voice, which, that was our first year. Second year, Dr. D. Weston Haywood. And then the 3rd year, we had a young man by the name of Keith Glass. He went to Morehouse. He got accepted. and he started his life over after he got kicked out of high school. So this is a history of young people speaking. We're under 30 when we started this organization, still are, and we continue to push this agenda of like you can lead while you're young. That's the goal. And Dr. Barber, she's 29 with a PhD from Harvard University. It's something that you can't really just get from anywhere else for free on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So, you talked about a conversation with some of your classmates. What other kind of things inspired you to get involved with urban youth in this way, uh, in a way that, frankly, nobody else is doing in the area? Not many people, anyway, are doing.
Sure. Well, my own background, I am them. What they see is what they'll be. Was a quote that I saw years ago by 100 Black Men. And aside from that, even coming through East Knoxville, I saw all of the conditions that really plagued our community. And one thing I learned that there was a cultural divide, and that's why I live by this quote that inspired me, which is, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Don't complain. That's by Maya Angelou. So between that kind of quote and me growing up on the east side, me coming up really in poverty, not play poverty, not somebody that's speaking from the suburbs or some fortunate experience. We're talking someone that can tell you that there's nothing you can tell me that you can't overcome. So I'm inspired by my own story, but I'm also inspired by the fact that I want to help kids change their conditions without complaining. No one's going to see you. You have the inspiration to save yourself.
That's profound, right? Ownership.
Ownership. No one coming to save us. No one. I can just provide you the tools and opportunities that otherwise wouldn't be available. That's it.
That's a huge idea and concept right there. So, going right along with that, when you're doing these kind of things, you have to rely mostly on alternative media rather than traditional media. Not necessarily television and radio, more of the Facebook and Twitter, and now more recently Snapchat. So,
yeah.
Being that we're adapting to those kind of things, give me a 30-second summation of the ideas that you want to bring to this tent summit, something that I could literally load on the Snapchat for somebody who's spending most of their time there.
Okay. I do this. I don't know if it'll fit in 30 seconds, but why not? Whatever. So let's see here. I'm from the city where those skinny people died, and yes, I'm from the city where those young people ride, and yes, I'm from the city where they only tell you lies, like you have to sell drugs or you have to sell these golden pies. Well, I want to tell you something. I'm from the east side, and everybody wants to claim the places they reside. But if you come out August 22nd, then I will open up your eyes. Tent Summit is a movement. We're going to catch you by surprise. So August 22nd, please come out. University of Tennessee, Haslam Building. We want you to come support the 4th Annual Tent Summit, August 22nd. Don't waste a second.
Beautiful. There we go. Well,
and the website, www.tentsummit.org, and you want to send an email at tentsummit@gmail.com, and also follow us at Tent Summit on Instagram, at Tent Summit on Twitter, Facebook, Tent Summit. Everything Tent Summit. Live your life at Tent.
There we go. So make sure you visit those websites, get pre-registered, and make sure you show up this Saturday at 8:30 so you can hear Dr. Sherelle Barber and several other people giving workshops speak. This is George.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And also, I'm sorry, all the other workshops dealing with financial literacy, workshops dealing with health, move your feet. It's going to be fun. We have a brain games in which you can challenge yourselves and exercise. We're going to be moving. It's going to be high energetic. I apologize for not getting into the details of the summit, but that's going to be a blast. You will not regret. Please check the resume, and everyone will tell you Kent Summit is a blast and full of energy. You will not be bored. Thank you, G Ward, and I did not mean to rhyme, for everything you do.
You all good. And to my internet audience, keep checking in with the Tennessee Progressive League on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thank you. All right, here we go.